Today on Monkey Life, Marmoset Ruby gives birth. And it's a bit of a shock for the care team.
A massive surprise, we have 4 of them, and another massive surprise that all 4 actually are looking pretty good at the moment.
Young orangutan Hujan braves the big enclosure in the presence of adult male Tuan.
Come on, big boy! Follow RoRo, go other way.
And with a little help from RoRo, soon gets over his nerves.
This is incredible for Hujan. I am really, really pleased.
Plus, the squirrel monkeys become one big family. Monkey World in Dorset, buried deep in the English countryside, is the largest sanctuary of its kind on the planet. The team, led by Dr. Alison Cronin, rescue and rehabilitate abused and unwanted primates from all over the world.
Right, ready to go. 3 monkeys in the box, not too bad.
The park provides a home for more than 260 monkeys and apes from 24 different species. In recent years, the marmoset population at the park has risen dramatically due to the British pet trade, which Alison vigorously campaigns against. The 2 large marmoset complexes are full to capacity, and there's a waiting list of more than 70 needing rescue. Most have been bought by pet lovers who were ignorant of the needs of the small primates when they first acquired them. With space at such a premium, all male marmosets are given a vasectomy to prevent breeding. However, this pair had been together for years with no evidence of mating behaviour. Until now. Ruby has given birth to quads.
We've kind of had a surprise in that one of our pairs up here, Ruby and Oscar, Ruby has given birth. She's looking after all 4 of them. She's swapping them over with her partner Oscar. He's carrying 1 or 2 for her from time to time as well. Everybody seems to be clinging on really well, which means everybody must be feeding because they wouldn't be able to hold on and cry and things like that if they were really weak. So yeah, a massive surprise, we have 4 of them, and another massive surprise that all 4 actually are looking pretty good at the moment. So far, so good.
Marmosets commonly have twins, or sometimes triplets, but 4 babies at once is rare. Mum Ruby was rescued from the pet trade and is the largest marmoset at the park, weighing in at 600 grams. Her partner, Oscar, who she's been with for 2 years, is one of the smallest at around 260 grams, making them a bit of an odd couple. But the partnership seems to work, and, given their tragic backgrounds, so far they appear to be coping well with the challenge of parenthood.
It's been a real surprise and a massive relief for us that they've just known how to look after them, to carry them. Mum is feeding the babies really well. It kind of shows that they have this natural sort of parenting instinct where actually a lot of pets, we quite often see rejection and things like that, so it's fabulous that that hasn't happened here. It kind of shows how important the family unit is as well. The mum and dad are working together to care for the youngster. The youngsters are constantly on one parent or the other, being carried around. And it's lovely to see, you know, even though we don't really particularly want breeding here, having had a bit of an accidental surprise, that we have got this lovely natural family unit.
The biggest problem for the primate care team is keeping an eye on all 4 youngsters at once. They need to be sure they're all feeding well. But differentiating between marmoset babies is hard at the best of times, and keeping track of 4 tiny newborns almost impossible.
So far, to be honest, we're really taken aback with how well Ruby has taken to motherhood. She's being an absolute superstar. So we're hoping that will continue. But yeah, regular checks, make sure mum's eating, make sure we see the babies feeding, which we've seen quite a bit of so far. And fingers crossed that everyone's going to be okay.
The next few days and weeks will be vital for the 4 infants. But so far, the parents are doing everything right. Ruby and Oscar might just be getting to grips with their new offspring, but across the park, there is a well-established, harmonious family group. Lavar's top woolies. His son Manny is now more settled and has relaxed into adulthood, allowing the group to come back together as one big happy family after a short separation. Lavar is the oldest woolly monkey at the park. Dominant female Zingu, now 14, next in line. The rest of the group are relatively young, all under 8 years old. The youngest, Lemmy, born just last year. He's really found his feet, is confident exploring the enclosure, and keen to get involved when the older youngsters are playing. And when the rough and tumble is too much, Dad Lavar is always there. First-time mum Eva has coped remarkably well bringing up this self-assured youngster. She's only 7, but she's been able to watch the perfect role model, her own mum Urema, rearing her brother Carlos. But the best news for this well-established troop concerns Cosmo. For the last few months, following a number of seizures, he's been on medication. The treatment appears to be working. He hasn't had any since it began, and he's back to loving life with his family, particularly when adopted Dad Lavar is around. It all makes for a tight-knit, happy family group, supported by a caring team, determined to give them the best life possible. It's been all change for another of the park's families. Life has been transformed for the residents of the Squirrel Monkey House. Since the Bridgewater 3, Logan, Lopez and Lucille were rescued 2 years ago, they've been living apart from the park's more established group, Charlie and his 4 ladies, Topsy, Turvy, Azzy and Nueve. Charlie and Logan didn't get on, so the 2 groups were kept apart. But a few weeks ago, Charlie was found to be suffering from cancer and was put to sleep. It left the 4 girls without a male, so the primate care team decided to put the 2 groups together, and so far it seems to have worked.
We still thought we might have some problems, a few bits of conflict, but it's actually gone a lot smoother than we thought it would. So we've ended up with this nice large group of squirrel monkeys all together, which is really great to see them in the outside, sort of filling up the space a bit more. Now there's this big group, and that's the one positive we've managed to take from the unfortunate loss of Charlie.
Charlie was quite a character. He was rescued from appalling conditions at an office in South London in 2012. A common squirrel monkey, he moved in with the park's black-capped females and became a much-loved part of the group.
He was a bit of a state when he arrived, and we had an older group when he arrived, and he definitely breathed life back into the older group of girls. He became very, very much a central part of the group. Any feeding, anything going on, Charlie was always straight there. And yeah, he became a really sort of dominant character. So, you know, we called it Charlie's group. It was his group of girls. So he was very much a central figure in that group. So yeah, it's really sad to lose him, and yeah, it's kind of changed the group. But we look to the future, and we look to this new group that we've made, and hopefully everyone will be very happy together.
It's early days, but things are going well. And even Topsy and Turvy appear to have accepted the 3 newcomers.
We've got the 2 old ladies in there who are always ready with their handbags when there's a new person in. They like to make a point that they're not going to be pushed down in the hierarchy. So we were prepared for a little bit of war, you know. We thought the old girls would come wading in, sort of bashing at these young upstarts. And actually, whether it's just that they're a little bit past that now and they just want more of a chilled life, they've not really been too bothered.
The dominant male is now Logan, who's grown into a magnificent-looking squirrel monkey, having filled out and bulked up since arriving at the park. But he's a gentle male who loves nothing better than snuggling up to the females. Lopez, on the other hand, is an incredibly energetic and playful youngster who's always on the go. The final member of the Bridgewater 3 is Lucille. The team thinks she could be Lopez's mum. She's enjoying life in a larger group, and being an older squirrel monkey has bonded well with Topsy and Turvy. The group's most recent arrival, Nueve, is a lively and boisterous young female. Mixing in with the three newbies seems to have had a calming effect on her. Or maybe she's just starting to mature. The final member of the new enlarged group is Azzy. She's had some health issues recently, and lab results have now confirmed she's also suffering from cancer.
She's actually coped quite well. She has days where she's just a little bit more sleepy, her breathing's a little rapid, especially if she's been out in the outside. But she is quite sensible and she'll go in and have a bit of a nap when that happens. She's been a bit more chilled out about everything.
Azzy has handled the mixing of the two groups well, and at the moment is still bright and happy. The team will continue doing everything they can to ensure her quality of life. There are 4 chimp troops at the park. The original group, rescued from Spain in the 80s, were led by Paddy, who sadly passed away nearly 3 years ago. He was at the heart of the group for 30 years. Since then, there hasn't been an obvious leader. Now, one chimp has stepped up. His son, Bart, who was born at the park 12 years ago. It's an amazing turnaround for Bart. As well as losing his mentor and role model, he was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes 2 years ago and has had to fight his way back to health. In addition, in the last few months, the group has had a new arrival to contend with.
Considering how much we've had going on with this group, so we've had obviously losing our dominant male, we've had Bart being fairly ill, we've had building work going on, we've got intros coming on. There's been a lot put onto this group, but actually they've stayed incredibly stable. They're a really tight unit. So Bart then stepping up is really the next step for this group that we needed. And it's working well considering everything that's been thrown at them. They're doing incredible.
Bart still has a huge amount to learn, but he seems to be embracing the role of alpha male. He's filled out in recent months, looks magnificent, and can put on a good display. The other members of the group are beginning to show him respect as he finds his feet.
He's really stepped up. He now looks the part. He's obviously got growing to do. We do think he's going to be quite a big lad, judging by how big Paddy was. But he's looking great. He's moving around great. His displays are incredible. They're pretty much on par with Paddy's. And his strength in disciplining the other individuals is really where we want it to be as well. And he does it in quite a fair way. So it seems like he's learned a lot off his dad. And he seems to be leading the group in a very similar way. So he has stepped up and taken charge. The situation is working quite well for him. So he's really all we want from a dominant male in that group.
And Bart had support from close friends, including Buster. He's one of the oldest in the group, but he's still playful, especially since his troublesome tooth was removed. He brings out the happy, cheeky side of Bart. But there's one individual yet to meet the new leader face to face. Latest arrival, Toprish. Until Bart meets and accepts the new young female, the group can't be together as one. Over the last 6 months, Toprish has been introduced to most, but not all of the group. She has started to improve her knowledge of chimp etiquette and how to interact with other chimps. But she's yet to fully brave the large outside enclosure. She prefers to stay indoors in the playroom. A few months ago, the team attempted a mesh-only contact meeting with Bart and his elder sister, Eddie. Unfortunately, Eddie reacted badly to the nervous newcomer, so the team cut the introduction short. Since then, Toprish has met Eddie without Bart, and the pair have bonded. Today, the team are moving on to the next step.
We've decided, all being well, that we'll open the door between Toprish and Bart. We've done a number of mesh intros between them, both with other individuals around and also a one-on-one yesterday through the mesh. So we think it's time to bite the bullet and open the door.
Lisa opens the slide. Bart is overly keen to make contact, and faced with a large male heading towards her, Toprish turns tail.
It was very screamy at first, a lot of slapping, but also a lot of fear grinning, so they're very nervous of each other and they're not really sure how to react to each other. But also for Bart's point of view, you know, he was born into this group. He's not really experienced new individuals coming into the group, so it's new territory for him as well, and I think they're both very nervous.
The team give the pair access to the indoor playroom, hoping the larger space will give Bart and Toprish the chance to calm down. It seems to work. The screams and fear grins diminish, replaced with a wary watchfulness, although both prefer to keep their distance.
You know, Toprish does still have a lot to learn, and certainly in terms of how she's going to relate to Bart, who really is the most dominant male in the group. So she needs to work on those behaviours. But hopefully next time we have got individuals that she can learn from, and we have seen progression with her. It's just transferring those behaviours that she's done with other animals to Bart. So I think overall, you know, we're really happy that we've been able to open the door. There haven't been injuries. And this is a big step towards integrating Toprish into this group.
Toprish has overcome another hurdle in her slow but steady progress to become a fully fledged member of a large chimpanzee community. But for another of the park's new arrivals, life is just wonderful. 2-year-old Hujan arrived a few months ago from a zoo in Germany and has settled into Tuan's group remarkably well. He's met all 4 females and a couple of days ago finally met the big man Tuan within the confines of the bedrooms. The meeting went so well, the team want to progress to the next step, letting the orangutans outside together. But first, they need to gather them in the bedrooms. To distract them and keep them calm, primate carekeeper Jano gives them all a nutritious treat.
Hujan. Hujan is not fussy with his food, so I always introduce him with new stuff, oat, bread, and anything really. Mash it all up together just to make it be interesting. So he's literally not like Bulu or Mimi who's got allergy to dairy or gluten, stuff like that. So he's just pretty good. Anything you give it to him, he just eat it, no problem.
With everyone relaxed in each other's company, the team decide to go for it.
Tuan! Come on then. Come on, handsome man. Ali! RoRo!
Leader Tuan wastes no time. He's straight out. Followed close behind by Ame and then Awan. RoRo is about to follow suit when she realises Hujan isn't there and heads back inside. She's lost sight of Hujan. She finds him still in the bedrooms, quite content and amusing himself, oblivious to the absence of the rest of the group. With some additional encouragement from 6-year-old Awan and with RoRo at his side, Hujan heads out.
You're a monster, man.
Come on, big boy.
Oh no, please not. Follow RoRo, go other way.
He heads down the tunnel, clinging onto RoRo. Finally, glued to RoRo's back, he's carried out into the large enclosure. It's all a bit intimidating, so best hang on. Hujan attaches himself to RoRo like a limpet and isn't inclined to let go. Ame doesn't look too happy that RoRo's getting all the youngsters' attention. She tries a couple of roly-polies to impress, but to no avail. Hujan might be leading the way, but he's still hanging on tight to RoRo. Eventually, the chance to play on such a large platform proves too tempting. Hujan bravely sets off to enjoy himself.
Oh, careful, Hujan. Don't fall, please.
An anxious Jano watches on, but he needn't worry. RoRo is constantly on hand, and Hujan has a perfect surrogate big sis in 6-year-old Awan.
Awan has been fabulous. Awan is following him around and ensuring that he's not gonna fall anything. And his climbing skill is, to be honest with you, is quite good. It's really, really good. He's so confident. Run the cargo net, run the red house, climbing around, and I am really, really pleased.
Dominant male Tuan doesn't interfere. He seems quite happy with Hujan being around, even if he does capture the attention of all the ladies, bringing out their fun side too. Ame finally gets involved. She's always been good with youngsters, having previously been a foster mum and role model in the orangutan nursery. But today, it's Hujan who's the centre of attention. Despite his age and being hand-reared, he shows amazing confidence and agility.
This is incredible for Hujan, and Hujan, for his age, he's ahead with pretty much with all the orang that we got at the nurseries now. And he stay with adult males and stay with the adult as well. So basically, he learned early age to be orangutan. So this is perfect for him.
And when he's all played out and exhausted, it's back to RoRo for hugs and reassurance, which she's more than happy to offer. Next time on Monkey Life, Alison and wildlife vet John Lewis are in Vietnam to examine 2 injured baby douklangers, both victims of hunters.
Huh. It's interesting. I think we do need x-rays.
Plus, the team are preparing for a groundbreaking gibbon release that's been 3 years in the making.